Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 55. Quite possibly our last episode, but we'll see. Hopefully things end well. But if we have to push it one more, we can. But let's recap. Let's relive what has happened. All but two have had the opportunity to travel the maze. And each person, besides Kieran and Kelladry, have had to face the deepest, darkest versions of themselves or those they love. Each has come away with a lesson. A lesson that Thaunis has asked them to remind him the next time they see him. Yasin has faced a younger version of himself and has forgiven who he was in the past. Grim has faced the deepest, darkest, most forbidden parts of Alexander, and with her love has brought him back to a more balanced way of life. Nim has discovered the true depth of her ancestry and has turned away the love, be it creepy, of pain, but has relegated herself to being alone, to doing what it takes, even if that means being alone, as she always has been. Mud faced her old mentor and realized that family isn't always who you're born to, but it's who you choose. And Estrella, reaching back into the past, saved her clan, changing the events of time and turning her people into a powerful empire that spread across the land. Each person learned a lesson. Each person will still have one more lesson to teach. But before we see, we have to travel back to Kelladry. Kelladry, you step through the mist and onto the maze. And again, to remind you, this maze is made up of 10-foot tall hedges. Very much like the Tri-Wizards tournament, it stretches on in front of you. You can see it twist and turn in some areas, but you can't tell where it ends. What do you do?
I'm just gonna walk forward. Just try and fall.
As you walk forward, you start to see images in your mind. At first, it's just a lake and a sunset. What do you do?
So I just have like these two images just kind of popping up in my mind while I'm walking.
Yep, so far the first image, you see this lake and you see a sunset, sunset off a lake. And of course you see the maze in front of you. And it still moves forward for a few, maybe 10 more feet before you see it take two different paths, either left or right.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna continue forward and head down the left path.
As you do, the images start to become more frequent, where it's no longer just the sunset over the lake that you see, but you notice an old lady. You see her from behind, as she sits at a wooden bench overlooking the sunset. You see two kids playing in the sand of the kind of the beach area of the lake.
Am I able to interact with the old woman? The old lady?
Make a wisdom saving throw.
That's 9.
All right, hey, meet it, beat it. I rolled a 9 too. So here's what happens. You stop in your tracks, and instead of moving forward with your body, you move forward with your mind, focusing on these images that keep playing. And as your spirit steps out of your body, you find yourself completely surrounded in a very familiar setting. Your home. And this lake that you've been seeing is the lake that's actually maybe less than 100 yards from the village where you remember growing up, or at least growing up to a certain age before you were lost in time and space. The old woman that's sitting on the bench watching the two children play is your grandmother. And suddenly, as you try to walk up and talk to her, you instead find yourself on the sand, playing. You're maybe 5 years old. One of the last memories that you have being in your home. And the child with you is Quirk. And the two of you are playing together, building sand castles and knocking them down and giggling like two ninny little kids. What do you do?
Do I like have my memories and like or am I like in child brain?
You are you, 100% you, in this moment as you've always been, but it's almost a dual you. You know that you're in a maze, you know that you are an adult, you know that this is an event from your past, but you also remember being in this moment. You could let yourself be a kid and just get lost in the memory, or you can take control of it and do whatever you choose.
Okay. Well then I'm going to look over at my grandmother to see. Um,
Mhm. As you look at her, she smiles and she waves at you.
okay.
That's all she does, though, is smile and wave.
Walk up to her. I'm just gonna ask her. Hmm. Can I ask her what's trying to think of that. Sorry, got mushy brain tonight.
Anything you want. Don't hold back. This is it. This is your last moments.
Um, I guess I'm just gonna ask her and say, ask her if we're gonna be making a portal soon.
Your grandmother grins. Ah, interesting. I don't think you're Caledry. At least not my Caledry, are you? No, you're much too bright, much too aware. Your eyes. Interesting how time works, isn't it, my child? Yes. Yes, we are. We're about to make the portal. I suspect from your perspective, we already have. And I'm guessing it didn't work out according to plan, did it?
No. I'm just gonna look at her and ask, why here? Why this memory?
Hmm. It's an interesting question to ask the one who is in the memory. But if I had to ponder, this must be a turning point in your life, young Caladri. Something that you have not dealt with, something that still haunts you, perhaps? Give me a wisdom save.
14.
Your mind flashes again, almost as if someone had blinded you with a bright light for a brief moment. And when your eyes refocus, Quirk is standing next to you, and you are creating runes in the sand around Quirk's body, as if she is at the center of a transmutation circle. Yes, interesting, interesting. This is very important to you, isn't it, Caladri? What happened here? What went wrong, child?
Am I able to remember what went wrong, or am I
Roll
able
history.
13?
This memory is burned into you. At first, you thought it was a game. As a young 5-year-old girl, your grandmother had always taught you magic, and every time you remember drawing runes or putting herbs together or mixing potions or saying small incantations, and something fun would happen, a spark of light, an interesting smell, a new liquid that tasted like nothing you've ever tried before. It's all been games to you, and you think that you're playing a game now, and even Quirk is excited to see what's going to happen. But you remember vividly the pain you put Quirk through. You remember trying to stop the ritual, and in doing so, opened a portal not where your grandmother intended, but into the realm of Nar Shaddaa. And of course, stopping the portal halfway, you and Quirk and your grandmother were flung to different parts of the land. And it took you years before you found each other again, not until you journeyed with this party, with your new friends. You thought you killed Quirk in that moment.
Okay. So within the dream, am I able to try to pull Quirk out of the transmutation circle?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, you can. With the wisdom save that you did, you reach out for Quirk, and as your loyal friend, she trusts you and she goes, "Oh, okay, I can move." And she steps to your side, and she looks at you, and she's. Remember, Quirk is a harpy, half bird. And she looks at you and she goes, "What is it? Why is not right? Am I in the wrong spot? What do you need from Quirk?"
Okay. I'm just gonna look at her and say, Quirk, I think something bad is about to happen. Um, I'm gonna ask her, do you trust my grandmother?
Yes, she is funny and makes fun lights and sometimes funny smells.
Um,
Do you trust Grandmama?
I'm just gonna look at Quirk and say, no, I don't think I do. I think maybe something bad will happen, and it's something that's gonna happen soon.
As you say these lines, you watch Quirk age in front of you. Again, it's like a flash, a momentary blindness, and when your eyes readjust, in front of you is standing the Quirk you remember from Nar Shaddaa, the one that you saw working in the palace. Yes, Keledri. Something did go wrong. But what exactly was it? Was it you? Or was it her? Hmm?
I think it might have been me. I don't know if it was my grandmother.
Ah. Hmm. You don't know what that means to hear you say that, Keledri. I am not a good person, but I am not who you thought I was. Will you do it with me now, the way it is intended? Will you
Yes,
trust me?
I will.
Then I need you to put your friend in the center of the circle. And no matter what happens, to finish the runes.
Um, I'm gonna look at her and say, how do I know it's the real you and not an illusion or a trick?
My child, I don't know if there's anything I could say or do that would convince you that I am really me. And I suppose at the end, does it really matter? What matters in this moment is what you are willing to do. Will you repeat what happened in the past? Stop this ritual? Or will you let it go through to the end? You can ask your questions of me, child. I will hold nothing back.
What happens if it stopped? Will that affect how does that affect the future?
It won't. The future is you stopped the ritual, and we get lost in time. We end up in a strange world where we each do what we have to survive. That is what was and what can be again if you choose.
And if it continues all the way?
Then you will see what I always intended for this ritual. To open a portal to where we belong. Not random. Not to some strange world where magic doesn't make sense and where everything is too bright. But to a world where we can be safe and call home. The choice is yours, Keledri. It always has been, it always will be.
Okay. Well, so is it, just to clarify, is this like the older Quirk that I'm talking to and my grandmother, or just Quirk?
No, it's everyone now is the way you last remember them. Everybody's older.
Okay.
I sense there's still questions within you, child. Perhaps one that you've been meaning to ask since this all started. Ask. Don't hold back.
I guess Audrey just wants to know. I guess just, why did she choose me over anyone else?
There it is. Question I've been waiting to answer since you were small. My child, you are what our village calls touched. Touched by the hand of Tiamat. For centuries our clan have worshipped her as the goddess of all gods. And every so often some of us are born with one of her tears, touched by the hand of a goddess. You have such a tear in your heart. You call it a crystal because of our time in that world, but it is so much more. It is a piece of our Creator. And you are the only one in 1,000 years to possess it. It grants you unique abilities, but more importantly, it grants you a connection that we can use to get back to our mother. You understand now, child?
Well, okay, so I think that we can try to finish it this time.
Good. Good, good. And you see genuine joy on your grandmother's face, and a slight look of fear in Quirk's eyes. She remembers the last time this was tried. Oh, okay. And Quirk steps to the middle of the transmutation circle. Now, Kelatri, finish the runes that you started.
Now, before I do, am I able to make eye contact with Quirk?
Yes.
It was also kind of the thought, you can tell me if I can do this or not. Is there like a way for me to kind of hold like part of me back from my grandmother while doing this?
Let's make this a roll sleight of hand, but also add your Arcana modifier to it as well.
Okay. It's a 10.
All right. I know what'll happen if you try, but you don't. You can try.
Okay, I think I will.
Go for it.
So, so now do I? Sorry, I got lost. Okay, it's
You're
real
good.
much.
So what is it that you want to do? You're holding a piece back from your grandmother. You're trying to separate yourself from her right now. What are you trying to do? Is it something that you want to say to Quirk that you don't want your grandmother to hear? Is it something that you want to change about the spell?
I think that's just maybe if I can remain like in control while the spell is happening. I don't know if that would be a possibility.
Ah. we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. Very interesting. Do you start to draw the runes now?
Yes, go ahead and start to draw the runes and start the spell.
As you do so, you feel the same electricity that you felt before. But as an adult, you can feel the focus of where this is coming from. It is less about the runes and the circle and more about what you feel inside of you as you draw each new rune. With it, you feel a piece of yourself bury into the sand, activate the rune, and connect the spell, one piece to the other. With each new rune that you draw, you watch as the center of the transmutation glows with this bluish red energy, flickering between a red glow and this blue-white lightning. You hear Quirk. This is becoming uncomfortable. Are you sure, Caradri?
Trust me.
You continue to finish this rune. And as you do, a column of light erupts from the center of the circle and spreads outward until it encompasses everywhere that Quirk is standing, everywhere that you are standing, and your grandmother. Quirk starts to shake and vibrate, and you can tell that she's in pain, but she's trying to hold back her tears, and she's trying to be strong. But you know this hurts. Yes. Now, Caladri, reach inside of yourself. Feel the tear of Tiamat calling you home. Open the portal now.
Yeah, this.
Okay. How close am I standing to my grandmother?
You are exactly 5 feet from both Quirk and your grandmother. So think of the three of you as like making a triangle.
Mm-hmm.
What do you choose to do, Caladri?
Am I able to try to? Can I try and pull Quirk out of the circle and switch places with her? Is that a possibility?
Ooh. Yeah, sure. What the hell? Let's do it. I'm not gonna make you roll for it. Do you just reach out and grab her and pull her out and thrust yourself in?
Yeah, I think so.
And you do. As you trade places with Caladri, you hear your grandmother. Why? Why use yourself, child, when we have her? It would have worked just the same. You stand in the center of the transmutation circle, and as you pull Quirk out, you can feel something pass between the two of you. There's an energy. And as it lances up your arm, across your chest, you feel it penetrate down into your heart. And as you've always seen when you call upon your magic, you imagine this crystal at the center of your being, and you watch the energy touch it, and you feel the white hot power of pure unbridled magic, so raw and strong with nothing to focus it except your own heart. What do you do?
I'm just gonna focus on the energy and try to open the portal.
Give me one last wisdom saving throw.
Oh man.
What's that?
16.
16. Here's what happens. You reach out and you start to feel yourself break apart. Almost as if the energy is too much for you to handle. And then you feel someone grab your hand. It's Quirk. She steps back into the circle with you. Together. You feel the energy split between the two of you. And you realize something your grandmother never did. There's a tear inside Quirk's heart as well. The two of you share the power that for one would have been too much. And in an instant, the portal opens in front of both of you. Not to Nar Shaddaa, not to a world of smoke and dust, of bright lights and acrid smells, of technology and strange magic. Instead, you see a portal open to green pastures, to trees as tall as the sky. And beyond them, you see a mighty kingdom rise in the distance. Your grandmother is gone, but Quirk still stands with you as you turn and look at this world. For the portal is gone and you are in this new realm. And for a brief moment, you understand what your grandmother was trying to do. To save you. To save your people. From a great calamity that was coming. But she was willing to sacrifice another's life to do it. But not you. As the sun dips behind the trees, you see Thaunus in the distance, walking up to you. Quirk is no longer by your side, as she has vanished into the light and dust in the air. But you see Thaunus. Well, Keledri, such a noble sacrifice you are willing to make. Tell me, why? Why put yourself in harm's way like this?
Well, every life is worth it, no matter how little.
Then remember this. Remember what you bring. For in this moment, it is the willingness to sacrifice. To sacrifice yourself over others. You did not know if this would work. It would have made things much, much worse. But you were willing to take it on yourself regardless. I cannot tell you if your grandmother would have done better if she had had her way. What I can say is that the next time you see me, remind me of this moment of sacrifice. Can you do that?
Yes, I can do that.
Thonis nods and smiles and steps away from you. As he does, mist envelops your sight once again, and you feel yourself stepping out and onto a gravel path. And to your left and to your right, you can see Yasin and Estrella, Grim and Nim and Mud, all stepping out at the same time. And as a group, you all look to one last shadow, one last area of mist, where Kieran faces his trial. Kieran, as you step onto the path for the first time, you see the hedges before you. What do you do?
After I walk into the hedge, I kind of look back just to like get a glance and see what I see behind me.
The first one to look back. Roll perception.
Let me see. Let me get myself all ordered here. Ooh. 11.
As you look back, you see basalt. The place that's always been behind you. A place that you've been running from, running to, but never quite fully dealing with. As you look in front, you see the rest of the maze and the hedges and the twists and the turns. And as you look back, basalt is still there. And even more, you notice that this moment is right before your people left, right before you had to close the seal, right before everything you knew about your home was lost. What do you do? Which direction do you choose to go?
Oh, no. To lighten the mood after that amazing moment there. No, I instinctively know that the maze has already started, and I'll walk towards basalt.
You do this. As you take a step toward basalt and you step on the familiar cobblestone pathways, you smell the air, the heavy mineral content, the water from the rivers and waterfalls, the familiar breeze of home. Just a little bit cold this time of year. The rest of the hedges fade away in an instant, and you're surrounded by this familiar setting. And you also see this bright light in the distance, this cataclysm that's rushing towards your home. You can see people scurrying about, figuring out what to do, where to go. The elders are talking amongst themselves in hushed corners. What do you do?
I'm going to go to the cave entrance, but I'm going to I'm going to walk in such a way that I am like in the shadows, and I'm going to look for a young boy that unfortunately made the same choice as I did on that day.
Roll stealth.
'23. Oh wait, yeah. I'm wearing my armor, so it's disadvantage.
Oh, you're fine. Go with the 20.
21.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're fine.
So-
No one knows where you are. You choose to remain hidden, and you are stealthing amongst not just the shadows, but the trees, the mist from the waterfall itself, making your way all the way up to this cave entrance. At the entrance, you do see a young boy, and it's almost like he's expecting you. When he looks up at you, "Hi, Kieran. I had a feeling we'd see each other again."
Hello, Garrett. I'll kind of rest my hand on his shoulder and almost instinctively falling into the same actions I did. I'll say, I know I promised that I would show you how to mine the soul stones today, but I think it best, and I'll kind of kneel. I think it best that you go home to your mother.
"I could stay. I can help you, Kieran."
You already have. And I'll take out my soul stone from my hand
Hmm.
and I'll hold it up and I'll put it in his hand and let it fuse with him. And I'll just kind of look him in the eyes and say, why don't you watch over this for a while?
He looks at his hand as this stone merges, and it merges in such a way that you know it's perfect. Unlike when it would fuse with you, there was always a sense of mastery, a sense that you had to dominate, control, guide. In this case, the fusion is perfect. It's a true symbiosis. It makes sense. And he looks up at you. "It's going to be okay, Kieran. Hold on to that courage." And he turns and he runs off in the direction of his mother's house and gets lost in the crowd and the hustle and bustle. But a new presence comes up from behind. You can feel her coming out of the cave to stand beside you. "Why did you do that?"
Because that soul stone was his. I took it from him the day I left Basalt. And Kieran like kind of clears his throat for a moment. In order to make soul stones, you first have to take souls. When I first set on this journey, I didn't quite realize the value that they held.
"My dear boy, how do you hope to prevent what comes next?" And this whole time you feel her standing next to you. Do you choose to look at her, or do you keep looking out to your village?
I'll look.
You see the Night Mother, as you've always seen her. Purple, translucent skin, horns stretching back across her head, arms and legs just a little bit longer than they should be, and a face that you finally recognize as being closer to Nim than you originally thought. How do you hope to stop what's to come, Kieran? You gave away the one weapon you had.
Not exactly. I'll kind of motion for her to come with me as I walk towards the entrance.
Oh, I have to see this. But before you show me yours, let me show you mine. And she points to the bright light that grows in the distance. Do you see that, Kieran?
I do.
That's me. I bet you didn't know that, did you? How could you? None of you truly know the game you're playing in. But in one moment, I cried. And with that, destruction reigned across time and space. That's what's coming for you right now. I could tell you how to stop it. But please, by all means, show me what you're thinking of. I'm so interested in how mortals perceive things. Please, lead on, lead on.
I'll just continue to walk.
Yep. And she's barely a few paces behind you, eagerly awaiting what you have to show her.
Why are you here? If you already know what happens, what benefit does it bring to conjure yourself in this place as I'm kind of walking?
Perceptive mortal, it's an excellent question. I'm not the only one that's here. Thornus is around somewhere. He's talked with your friends. I figured I'd talk with you. You and I always seem to have a special connection, something the others aren't fully aware of. You saw me way back when. You see, that moment where I cried, where I shed my tears, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to be hurt like that. You could be my champion, Kieran. You could make it so that pain never happened, and you would save your village. You would save Caladry. One of my tears is inside her. It's how she got it. You would save all of your friends. If you could just help me not feel that pain.
I knelt before you once, and I fell into a trap. And I assure you, as Kieran's arm starts to kind of disintegrate with distance from his soul stone and disconnection from it grows, I assure you I will not walk into another. And I'm kind of like tapping stones very specifically as we walk through the cave. So they kind of like start to glow in a detection technique that we use in basalt to kind of trigger and find the like sources and the strengths. And I'm looking for like a strong aura chamber.
Roll investigation with advantage.
'21. I had advantage on that.
As you speak and tap and make your way through the cave, you find exactly what you're looking for. It's a couple of turns to the left. There's an antechamber. Its aura is the strongest you've ever felt. And you can see that the Night Mother pauses at the entrance to this grottoed area. Why have you brought us here, Kieran? What purpose could this chamber serve? What do you think it will do for you?
Well, this is where it happened. This is where I destroyed the cave. This is where I crumbled everything and prevented the attack from entering basalt. This is the location right here.
You don't have to do this, Kieran. The pain it caused you, the distance you put from your people. And besides, it won't save them. Not from me. You remember seeing them in Burke? And you watch as the Night Mother almost becomes a little bit manic in how she's talking to you. You saw them there. They still end up in another realm. And guess what? Do you know where that realm is now? It's gone. They're all gone, Kieran. Only one remained, and you ran from me there when you should have stopped and listened to what I had to say, because I can save them all if you'll just let me.
I'll kind of hold up a hand. I'm not interested in the business of saving lives. Not anymore.
Oh, you. Then do tell me, what are you interested in, Kieran?
Where is she at this point?
She's still at the entrance to this cave that you're in, this antechamber. Probably about 10 feet from you at the most.
I'll kind of turn. But I am intrigued by one of your offers.
Yes.
And I'll kind of like kneel and hold out my hand as a gesture.
Roll persuasion with advantage.
Two 14s. Exact same roll.
Nice. Hesitantly, cautiously, the Night Mother takes a step forward, then 2, then 3. At 5 feet, she stops, her hand hovering a mere 3 feet from yours. What intrigues you so much, Kieran? What do you want from me?
Not what I want from you, but what you want from me.
So
And
you'll
I'll
Mhm,
go ahead.
No, you first, please.
I'll kind of like stand up, still kind of keeping my bow.
Then you will be my champion. You're willing to stop this pain from ever happening.
Take my hand and I will show you.
This time, roll deception with advantage.
Funny.
For a long, long moment, she stares at you, Kieran. She battles with herself, debating whether or not she can trust you. But in the end, you feel her fingertips lightly touch your palm, and then her palm settles on yours, and you feel her fingers curl around the back of your hand as she holds yours.
I'm going to look up and look her in the eyes as my face is starting to crumble. The little orb of like gemstone that is my right eye kind of hovering in place a little bit, spiraling ever so slightly. And looking directly in the reflection of her eyes, I'll say, I've been waiting a long time to do this. And I am going to use an ability that I have held on to and not used ever, with the intention of seeing my own reflection in her eyes. And I'm going to use Death Glare with the intention of activating my own soul in her hands to destroy the cavern. She is going to be the one that destroys it, and we're both going down with it. If possible. She probably will survive, but
I want you to roll a d20, straight roll, because in that instant that you stare and look at her, this goddess feels fear. And you feel her try to pull away from your hand, but you strengthen your grip on hers. Roll your d20.
please. It's an 8.
You feel her hand start to pull away. You see her head turn from yours, and for that moment where you had locked eyes with yourself through her gaze, it's gone, it's broken, and you need just a second more to make this spell work. Can you draw her back to you? How do you want to do it?
Go ahead.
How do you want to do it? Tell me how you want to draw her gaze back.
I'm going to use reverse dissonant whispers like I did to like basically absorb their mind, like their thoughts. And I'm going to just eat the pain and dissonant whispers into looking at me, basically like try to reverse like fear her.
Ooh. One more time. Roll a d20. do we get?
5.
That's okay. All you have to do is beat what I rolled, which was a 3.
Oh my god.
And here's what happens. You reach into her mind like a dagger. And as you do so, you put into her such thoughts of fear that she can look nowhere else but back into your gaze. And as she locks eyes with you, and you lock eyes with yourself, you take that last second to finish your spell and to cast Death Gaze. In this moment, Kieran, you have to understand that you are choosing to die a second time. Is that your final choice?
Yes.
As you do so, casting this spell, your body fully disintegrates, and your soul blossoms with a light that shines as strong as it did the day you were with Bahamut on the beach. For a moment, you scare a god, and you watch as her eyes widen, as an explosion rips its way through the cavern. You feel the energy tear your body apart, shearing your soul into pieces, and ripping into Tiamat. Pieces of her flesh exploding on contact with the energy. She screams in rage to try and hold back the blast, but there's nothing she can do as waves of time and energy slam into her. And for one brilliant moment, you shine as bright as a sun. But the moment fades, and as it does, you feel yourself slipping from time and space. You feel what happens to your people. That with a soul stone protecting them, they're more than just beggars traveling from realm to realm. They're warriors. They're scholars. And your friend grows into a powerful protector. You see every life that you had touched. Your friends. Those from the first party, when you traveled with Harmony. You watch as they forget you, but that your presence still touches them, that a bit of magic that is you is left behind. And you see your friends now, Mud and Nim, Yasin and Estrella, Grim. You watch them all step out through the mist, and you see them dive into the chalice that holds the memories of Io. And you look up, and you see the Elder Dragon God, glorious and powerful, welcoming you home, clutching you right before the last bits of you fade into nothing. He grabs you and holds you close, and you hear him whisper, "You will not fade from time. You are its master." And though the party forgets who you are, the impact that you make never fades. Kieran's time is done in this mortal realm. But in Hyrule, the child is born, bearing a strange mark over one eye. A mark that looks like a diamond, a crystal, a soul stone. And this child is taken, trained, and nurtured to be a sage. And this child is given the name Kieran, a long-lost warrior, a legend amongst the clans of Hyrule, a legend that Link barely remembers somewhere in the back of his mind, of a warrior who had fought with him in another time, in another realm, and saved his people. Everyone steps through the mist, and you don't look for Kieran. You step out and feel complete as the party that you are. Before you stands a giant chalice, a font, a well, swimming with the memories of Io. You have all made it, each bringing with you something. What do you all choose to do as you stare around at each other?
Oh, there's a well and a chalice.
It's
There's just a lot of different words for.
It's the same thing. It's
The same thing.
it's a big chalice. It's like a well. It's like, it's a really pretty pensieve. It's giant. It's huge.
Is there?
Go ahead, Eli.
Well, I was going to ask: does it look like we need to drink from it?
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, Grim takes a handful.
I don't know about Pensy drinking from a Pensy.
It's good. You guys don't know how pensives work.
That's true.
Fair question. It's definitely too far down to like safely drink from. Like if you bent over, you wouldn't be able to get your hand and like bring it to your mouth per se. But what you do get, all of you, is a sense of being drawn in.
So I guess we should approach cautiously, but approach it.
Since I'm Grim, and I'm going to. So is it like large enough for my whole body to go in?
It could.
Okay. I'm gonna back up a little, and I'm gonna run and jump into it.
She's ending this how she started it, in a fountain.
Boom! Yasin, as you get ready to move forward, you see Grim just run past you and dive into the pensieve. What do you do? What do the rest of you do as you watch her because as she dives in, she disappears.
Nim just kind of laughs, and she's like, huh, "This is gonna be more fun than I thought." And she's going to run and dive in.
And Yasin, you watch as Nim swishes past you in her blue ghost form, dives into the pensieve, and disappears.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna stare at everyone who's left.
Come on, you're a water baby too. Get in the water.
Mud's gonna look at Estrella and kind of like gesture for like for her to like, do you want me to pick you up? Because we'll go. Like,
Estrella, how do you react to that?
I'm not jumping in that until I wait 10 seconds and see what happens.
Bro, you're already dead. What else can happen?
Yeah, but like I don't want to be perma-dead.
you could be wiped from
Permadeath?
Permadead, wiped from all the space and time.
That's like what Kieran is now.
Yeah.
No one said
I
there's
was like, isn't he already dead?
no one said there's a portal in this thing. Y'all are probably just jumping on top of each other and somebody's gonna get a concussion.
Estrella, do you want to roll to kind of get a sense of what it is?
Yes, please.
Roll investigation.
13.
13. You step close to the fountain, to the font rather, to get a stronger sense of it, and you see Nim rush in and disappear. But what you notice as this happens is that there is something that opens up magically. You can't see it with your eyes, but you can feel it with your aura, that there is something that opens to allow them passage and then closes again. And you don't lose track of their individual essences, their auras. You can still sense Grim and Nim as individuals somewhere within the liquid. It's almost as if they merged with it in a way.
Weird. All right, everybody. They're not dead. Let's go.
They're not
Jump.
dead.
They're not dead.
I'll jump in.
All right. Right before you get ready to jump in, Mud, you feel Mud's arm wrap around your midsection, and you just kind of get hoisted into the air,
and cannonball.
very lovingly cannonballed by a giant woman as the two of you jump into this together.
I couldn't ask for a better way to go out, so beautiful.
In her muscle arms.
In their muscled arms.
A little woman's arm.
Yasin and Keladri, the two of you are left. How do you jump in if you choose to jump in?
Yeah, well, everybody else is, so why not? So
Pressure.
Off a bridge.
I'll jump off that cliff.
I think a bridge would be safer at this point.
Yeah, probably.
Yasin, do you let her go before you? Are you the last one left?
Yeah, just ladies first, and then she'll go, and then I'll dive in after her. And
you do. And you're all dead, and that's how we end the session.
Oh,
no, I'm kidding. No.
Beautiful story.
All of you are instantly aware of each other. You see as if you're floating in a pool of magic and smoke, energy and power. And you all settle to the ground. And it's a ground that feels instantly familiar to all of you. That's really epic. We're not there yet. You all sense the familiarity of where you are because you're back at the tavern. You're back where it all started. You see the colors of the sky above you. The old wooden beams of the tavern itself. You see the gouge that Nim created when she slid down the wall using her staff to keep her safe from where Thaunis's window is. And you see an old man sitting on a bench, looking up at the night sky. Well, it has finally come to this, has it? Come here. Don't be scared at this point. You've all been through so much shit. What's one old man on a bench to you? Hmm?
The bench person.
Do you all listen to him and gather round, or what?
Nim's going to go up.
Gather round. Sit
to
next to him on
and
the bench.
just kind of like do her like little kneel sit right in front of him.
Yimriani? Yasin? Mud? But the rest of you? Grim, I saw Grim give a thumbs up.
You said a bench?
Yeah, there's a bench right next to me.
I guess sit on the handrest.
Sure, you can sit on the handrest. That's unconventional, but okay, nice. Do Estrella and Keldry also move to sit as well?
Yeah.
You all gather round. Well, I suspect you all know who I am, though I'd like one of you to say it, make an old man feel good and wanted.
No?
Mud's gonna like nudge whoever's beside her and be like, "That's my father."
Oh,
No.
My
okay. Okay. It's not him. It's not him. It's an old man.
Is it Io? Wait, did she just?
Yes, the
Oh,
captain speaks truth. Keen eyes, like one who watches the waves and knows how to navigate the stars. I am Io. The
grandfather.
Oh,
oh,
I do see a bit of the family in you, Udrim. My boy gets around.
Yeah, he's kind of like my great, about 100 more times great grandfather as well, I guess.
Yes, the Nimriani Sakuv, the one he calls. I suppose you all want to know how this started, yes? Why this is the way it is? I will happily tell you. These are my memories, after all. And you watch as he reaches into the sky, and he goes, "In the beginning, there was darkness." And he fists his hand together, and as such, all light disappears, as if he drew it all into the palm of his hand. Grim, stop grinning.
okay.
Yeah, I got you. Whatever. Damn you. But there is darkness all around you. And way too much epic music. So tone it down a little bit. Tone it down. When there was nothing but darkness, I sang. In the first void long before time, At first it was only a single, deep, powerful note. And you hear in the distance this low bass, just this oh, and with it you feel your body vibrate at this one single sustained note. But as you listen, you start to hear others call back in response. Oh. And you hear as each additional note starts to harmonize together. That one note soon became a song. It created the first dragons. But these were not like the dragons you know. They existed only in darkness, walking in time with the song. Perhaps you have heard of these dark ones before, and legends scrawled throughout the cosmos. Each new dragon added to the song, and the song became so elaborate and powerful that soon it spawned the first ray of light. It was dim, and in the distance, rising like a small sun, you can see light cut the horizon and spread out across, yellow, strong. As the light grew, it changed the melody. Some embraced the change, and with it changed themselves. They became the dragons that roam the earths, the ones you know and met. But others rebelled. They turned from the light and embraced the darkness. They were scared to change. That faction was led by the mother of all night. You know her as the Night Mother, the one who called to those in the dark. She was a formless dragon who sung the ancient song unchanged, and she kept her children from the light for the fear of what that light would bring. Her son, Bahamut, was the most powerful and beloved of these night dragons. But his heart sought more than just darkness. Tiamat was raised in the light, and through it brought many worlds into being. And you see in front of you almost a shadow play of stars and smoke, of color and light, that form the dragons Bahamut and Tiamat. And you see them separated between the light and the darkness, and you see what they did in those realms, how they led, how they created worlds, and how people loved and worshipped them both. And you hear Io continue his story. But there was a darkness in her heart that always made her wonder if she was missing something. When she sought out the dark, she met Bahamut, and he as well sought more, and found that more in her light. And for a moment the two of them were young and happy, living as friends, rivals, lovers. And with their love, entire constellations bloomed. And as he opens his hand again, the full light that he kept trapped opens again, and the sky dances brilliantly with stars. And in those stars you see the forms of Bahamut and Tiamat dancing together, chasing each other as day and night chase one another. And you see them turn into Thonis and into the figure you've always called the Night Mother, into Tiamat's purple golden radiance. And you watch the two of them embrace each other, kissing, frolicking, being young and in love. I saw their love, and I was pleased, because in them I saw the heart and purpose of what creation could be. A balance, night and day, hot and cold. It is needed, and the cosmos thrived under their love. And in my joy, I created a new dragon to represent their love. I called her Varel, whose very name meant beautiful. And as he breathes, his breath turned into a magical mist that turned into one of the most beautiful women anyone had ever seen, who turned into the most graceful dragon. Long scales and limbs, bright, luminescent in color, eyes that radiated with the power of the stars themselves. She was a sister to Tiamat, who could share in her duties, so that Tiamat could focus on bringing the balance that her love with Bahamut did. But Tiamat's heart grew jealous. For until Varel was born, she was the most glorious and wonderful dragon to behold, the bringer of all light. Worried about what this new dragon would bring, she tempted her lover, Bahamut, to kill Varel. And in this trickery, Bahamut created the oceans, weeping over the death that he had brought. The mother of all night, seeking shade from the vengeance she thought I would bring, hid her son here, in this realm between realms, giving her life to shield her baby boy from a wrath that never came. And so Tiamat's rage grew, and the jealousy in her heart turned to chaos. And what once she did out of creation, she now brought destruction. And Bahamut became focused on order, trying to fix the chaos he created. And that is the story of the children of Io. And he slowly stands and rises to his feet. There's nothing left to learn, nothing more to gain. You know everything. I hope my son chose well. I suppose we shall see. I wish you all luck. But as I said, I am just a memory. But he is very real. And Io points behind you all. As you turn to look, you see Faunus, younger than any of you have ever seen him before, run out of the tavern, screaming, crying in anguish. And when you turn to look back to where Io was, he's gone. As his bench. Grim, make a dexterity save for me.
One moment, please. We're
Yep, you're good.
checking the cards.
Cards.
Where the fuck? Sorry, I didn't have it pulled up because I didn't think I was gonna be doing it. I was like, oh, this is gonna be all them. Holy balls. Okay. Dexterity.
Yep, give me a dex. Give me a dex save.
Oh, all that, and I have 0 to add. 18.
18. Cool. All that just to see if you'd fall on your butt or not. You don't. As the chair, you feel it kind of vanish from beneath you, and you have just a small oh shit moment. But you catch yourself quite nimbly and stand. And when everybody looks to see where Io was and he's gone, you're just standing normally. No one ever saw you stumble or anything. You're like, yeah, he's gone. What?
Oh.
What?
I'm like, where'd that bitch go?
But what you all hear in this moment sounds like a drum beat, a pounding. Doom, 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 doom. And as you all look to the direction of the sound, it's Thaunis hitting the edge of the barrier that traps him inside of this realm. And you hear him crying out. What do you all do?
Arcana check the wall.
You do. You don't have to roll for this. As
okay.
you check the wall, you can feel that there is a weak point where he's hitting. And you know, Grim, what it's like to reach beyond the barriers and to pull open a portal, and you know that's exactly what he's trying to do.
Nim is going to hesitate for like 2 seconds, and then she's going to rush forward and try to grab him from behind, almost like a hug, but like grabbing his arms to stop him from hitting the wall.
Grim, what are you doing as Nim rushes past you to try and go grab Thaunis?
It's trying to get out of the realm, you said?
Yep, he's trying to open a portal out.
You're trying to hold him?
And Nim's trying to hold him, yep.
I'm trying to calm him down.
Okay. Oh, is he dragon form?
No, he looks like, so what you see is a very young Thaunis.
Okay.
In your standards, 19, 20. He's incredibly young. Super smooth. No facial hair.
Quick questions. I know this has never been really my thing, but I have done it on occasion. Can I sneak peek into his mind?
Give me a straight D20 roll. You roll against me and we'll see if you can.
Oh, I missed the thing. Oh, I don't think I can. It's an 8.
I rolled a 9. So here's what happened. As you reach into his mind to try and see his thoughts, you feel him push you out. But what pushes you out isn't a conscious thought. It's not like, no, Grim, and he puts up a wall. What pushes you out is his grief. And what you feel is loneliness coming off of him in waves. Just powerful, desperate loneliness.
Okay, I know what I'm gonna do.
Do you tell this to the group, that what you can feel?
I'm going to be like, I guess I'll say to the group, if he has told you anything in the maze, now is time to say it.
Nim, I want you to roll a d20 against me to see what happens when you try to hold Thaunis still.
Yeah, boy, let's do this. 19.
Because that's what I'm gonna do.
Ah, no!
It's right there. You can look at it. It's a 20 versus a 19. Good roll. You rush up, and you're able to get your arms around Thaunis. But same as Grim, you just feel this immense grief wash off of him, and you hear him, "No, leave me alone, please!" And he opens his arms, and his strength is too much for you in that moment, and you feel your grip break as you step back a few feet. Yes, Grim.
Okay, instead of behind, I'm going to get in front of him.
You can, because Nim gives you just enough time to move your way in front of him. Now, before you finish what you're going to do, what is everyone else doing? You have watched Nim go and try to grab Thaunis and hold on to him. You heard what Grim said, and you've watched her run to stand between Thaunis and the barrier. What do each of you try to do in this moment?
I'm gonna have. Is the area outside where we are, outside the tavern, is that fountain still there?
Roll Arcana with advantage.
Let me see what I got for Arcana. 17.
You can feel it.
Okay.
There is almost a connection between that fountain of Io's memories and the Tavern of Realms, as if, well, it's a port key in Hogwarts terms. Touching that fountain not just brought you Io's memories, it transported you to this realm. And Yasin, you can sense that connection because, hey, water's water, magical or not. And you can trace any body of water.
Would I be able to use that water to kind of restrain him?
Roll a d20 against me and let's see what you do.
All right. Nat 20.
Versus 12. Well done. You reach behind you, summoning this water from the fountain, this essence of Io, this energy in liquid form, and you feel it pull through the barrier and wrap around your arm. And with it, this is a new sensation because you are wielding more than just water. You are wielding memories and magic and the power of an ancient god. You feel Io's energy wrap around you, and all of your tattoos start to glow as your eyes light up in the avatar state. You shoot your hands forward, and you watch as these tendrils of magical energy grip each of Thaunis' hands and pull him down to the ground and hold him in place. You hear him cry out, "No! Just let me go! I need to see her!" You have successfully held her, or held him rather, Thaunis, in place. Keladri, Estrella, what are each of you doing?
Can I go up to him and grab his hand and just cast calm emotions? Just try to de-escalate.
Give him a little kiss.
Roll the d20 against me and let's see how successful you are.
I have 2.
I'm using the Estrella ones. For better or worse. That's a 14.
All right, I rolled a 10. You walk up to him, you grab his hand, and you feel him just shaking in place, fighting against Yasin, but also shaking in grief and rage now at being held back. And you cast calm emotions over him. And he turns and he looks at you, and he goes, "Why? Just let me feel this pain. I could use it to leave this place. Why do you take it from me?" And you feel him start to calm down as he asks this of you. How do you respond?
Oh, no, I'm going to drop his hand and take a step back.
You do. And your calmness maintains, and you just see this pleading in his eyes. Keladri, what do you do?
Can I move to stand in front of him, and then I just want to look at him and say, like, just look at what we have to share with you. We have something we have memories to give.
You do this, and you stand in front, and you speak these words, asking him to listen to what you all have to share. And he drills you with a glare. I have nothing to listen to from any of you. Grim, what did you want to do here?
Where is it? Okay, so this is not an ability of mine, so this is off the cuff.
Yeah, bring it on.
I'm going to try to project, I guess, the image of our last bit of our conversation from the maze into his mind.
Roll a d20.
Okay.
Roll the 20.
Got a 19.
You feel something strange come over you. A presence that feels familiar, but you can't place his name. And you feel his energy for just a moment as he projects dissonant whispers through you. As Kieran is taken by Io, his presence passes through this moment, and he passes through you, Grim, and grants you this ability that was never yours. And you project into Thonis's mind the moment that you shared with an older him, and the words that passed between you. Is there anything that the rest of you do in this moment?
How is he reacting to it?
There is a momentary pause in his resisting Yasin's energy ropes. And he kind of calms for a second as he tilts his head, looking at Grim. No. No, 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 no. And you feel him start to ramp back up again. And with it, you feel the energy start to crack the rocks around him as he tries to break the foundation to pull against Yasin's energy. Yasin, I need you to roll another d20 to see if you can hold on to Thonis.
18.
As the ground rips and you feel your hold loosening, you double your efforts and lash out more energy and water, and you feel your tattoo fade for a moment as it too becomes energy and reaches out, and it pins around Thonis's midsection and pulls him back to the ground as he tries to rise off his feet.
Nim's going to look at everybody and go, we all need to share. We all need to tell him what Thonis told us.
And so we do. Or I do.
Yasin, roll persuasion.
Oh. It is
Whenever you get a chance.
14.
Yasin, you share your moment with Thonis. What you went through and what you bring. What is it that Thonis told you to tell him? What do you bring?
I bring to young Thonis, just, I don't know if he's blaming himself for not being able to see who he wants to see, but he has to remember to, well, do his best to forgive himself and not live in the past, if that has anything to do with what he's going through.
You feel something pass through the energy between you and him. Your magic changes. And instead of being the smoky glow of the pensieve, it's a golden thread that connects you to Thonis. Grim, you had your hand up?
Oh, I'm not 100% sure this is who it is, but to reiterate that you don't have to rip. I don't want to sound like you don't have to go after her. She's not worth it. Like, there are other people around you
You try.
that love you. You just don't realize it. You don't have to be alone.
Roll persuasion.
Oh. Oh wait, I think persuasion is one of my. 24.
Wow. You sense an energy pass between you and Thonis, and a second golden thread appears, connecting you to him. I don't know if I can just be alone. And how can I forgive myself for what I've done? You don't know what it's like to see the blood on your hands, to see the woman you love forever separated from you, to have killed your own sister because of her. I don't know what to feel. I just need to see her again to figure this all out.
I'm going.
And again, you feel the energy rise in the space, and you feel him trying to break free. Grim, you already have a thread, and so does Yasin. What are the others going to do?
No. Oh, are we telling him the things from our last episode?
Yes.
It's not eloquent, but if you try to change things, you could fuck up the future even worse. Don't do it.
No.
Oh my god, no. 911 help.
Estrella, roll persuasion.
With disadvantage.
No, roll with advantage, actually. Roll persuasion with advantage. You have a high number to beat, but I believe you can do it. What'd you get?
24.
24. I rolled a 19.
Fine.
Oh, you are tired and beat, Estrella. A golden thread forms between you and Thonis as you share with him the dangers of changing time. But maybe it won't be like that for me. I can be better. I can be stronger. I can do this. I swear I can. Just let me go, please.
Mud's gonna step forward and tell him that what he told her, her best quality was endurance and enduring hard times, and then finding the family that you need at the end of it. Is what matters.
Roll persuasion.
+7 to persuasion. Why isn't much? Oh, okay, 16 plus 7.
Oh yeah, that'll beat me. I rolled a 5. He looks at you, Mud, and you see the tears stream down his face, but you watch as a golden thread of energy forms between you and him. I have family out there, don't I?
We'll become your family in a way. It's a weird, fucked up family, but it's there.
Truth ain't always eloquent.
There are 2 left. Caladri, Nim. Caladri, what do you do?
I'm gonna step forward and stand in front of him and I just want to look him directly in the eyes and share my memory. And then I just want to say to him that sometimes hard things require sacrifice. We have to sacrifice ourselves for the greater good of all. It's not always about us.
Roll persuasion with advantage.
18.
I rolled a 12. Another golden thread appears from you to him. And he looks at you. You carry a piece of her inside you. I can feel it. But I don't know if I have the strength to do this on my own. I don't know if I can do this for the greater good. I can't. I won't. No, I will not let you stop me. None of you can stop me.
Mud comes around, I mean, not Mud. Nim comes around the front of him and kneels in front of him and just leans forwards and hugs him. She's not trying to hold him back, she's just trying to hug him.
Roll for persuasion. I rolled a 10. In that moment, you see him ramp. You see him begin to draw upon his dragon form. And before he can burst from his chains and show his full power, you wrap your arms around him and you feel him cave into himself, surprised. And you feel a thread of golden energy form between the two of you.
I'm just gonna whisper in his ear. Sometimes it's better to be alone. To feel what we have to feel.
He leans into you now. And all of you feel a shudder, a change, as Thaunis relaxes. I will try. And in that moment, the walls around the Tavern of Realms lift. The nebula in the sky that you have always seen when you came here vanishes, fades, and is replaced with the gates of reality. The gates that you all saw almost a month earlier, before coming to Burke. And in this place, you see the titans that represent the tidal forces of nature. the guards of this realm of realms. And behind them, a form, large and powerful, Io, the first dragon god. And he nods at all of you. Things will never be the same now. And you watch as everything swirls. The gates lift from their moorings and break from the ground. And they start to spin around each of you until they blur into one stream of energy. Thaunis relaxes. All the chains that connected you vanish and fade. And he moves to stand in the center. And as he walks to the center of this realm, each step ages him until he reaches the age that you all know him. The silver fox that you all met so long ago in the Tavern of Realms. White hair, his features sunken just a little with age, but still strong. And he looks at all of you. My friends, my champions, my family, stand beside me one last time. And we will fix the mistake I made so long ago. Do you each choose to stand beside Thaunis?
Yes.
Yes.
Go up and hold one of his hands.
You do. And you feel him grip your hand in response. As you all move to stand beside him, you hear him whisper, as if he's talking to each of you personally. We all have one final choice to make. One final decision. As Io said, things will never be the same again. So, with me, we will build something new. Choose what you wish to leave behind. Each of you now has a choice to make. What will you leave to shape the world to come? We'll start with Grim.
Don't rightly feel like we're gonna make it out alive.
Oh, yeah, I mean, make it out alive or not, who knows?
Oh, okay.
It's a moment to call out into the spinning void around you. What do you want to leave behind? What is your legacy? And as you get ready to speak, Grim, you feel Alexander materialize beside you and grab your hand. We're in this together, Valencia.
I'm leaving, Alexander.
What shall we leave behind?
It's gonna sound weird,
Just go
but
for it.
this is how I pictured it when I first thought of it. So it's gonna be like a ball of shadow. Once Alexander appeared, I guess. And then when the smoke or shadows dissipate, there's a little baby girl inside.
And you all watch as Valencia and Alexander merge their magic together in this void and create this new life.
Oh.
And Thonis looks down at this child.
Oh, so
You have a name for her.
I think. What did I call her? Alexandria. And then her middle name is Nimstrella.
Thonis smiles widely at the two of you. And he goes, "That is a beautiful legacy to leave for the new world. The two of you will raise her in this realm between realms. And when everything is ready, she will step into this new world and change it in amazing ways." Yasin, Thonis looks to you. What legacy will you leave behind, my captain?
I want there to be a nation that, I guess Yasin would have seen himself establishing, but he doesn't know if in this moment he'll be there to actually establish it. But if he can't be there, maybe Persian can do it. And he wants there to be a nation of seafaring people that is exceptionally peaceful, and I guess the best way to say it is they enjoy well, not like a sea nomad, like they live in this place, but they can leave and they enjoy freedom.
You leave behind a nation, one that can shape the lands that they touch. This is noble. This is worthy of speaking into the void. And you watch as your words take shape, and you can see sentences trail into the cosmos and get caught up in the swirling vortex around you. Estrella. He takes your hands and holds yours. What you saw was difficult, but it is not all bad. Tell me, what legacy do you wish to leave behind?
Estrella wants to. So when I changed the timeline with my decision, the Order of Lunas doesn't exist, and that was a lot of people doing a lot of helpful things. So in my own way, almost like starting a charity or something, just a group of people that sole purpose is to help and pass down their knowledge to maybe undo some of the evils of capitalism that I think I inadvertently created. Not like in a deity way, or just in a group.
A nonprofit.
A nonprofit.
Call it Tender Hearts.
Oh no.
Estrella, you watch your words form and leave your mouth and enter the void, and you feel Thonis squeeze your hands. This can be done. This is a worthy legacy to leave behind. Caladri, what do you leave behind?
Behind. I want to offer up my tears crystal inside of me and I want to use it to create a safe space, whether it be between a realm or in a realm, for those who are lost or overlooked or in need. the children with no place who were thrown away. So that's kind of, yeah.
There will always be those who are lost, Keladri. And now you and what you wish to create will be there to catch them, to save them. This is worthy. And you see your voice and your words enter into the swirling vortex around all of you. Nim, Mud, the two of you are closest to me. In order for this world to exist, the one who seeks to destroy it must be held at bay. And I cannot stop her alone.
Okay.
I cannot ask.
Nim holds up her hand. And just kind of gives Mud a punch in the arm. I think we're up for the job.
You realize that what's before us is long and fraught with pain and suffering and
Pain's an old friend. Hey.
Then it is decided. You have all left something behind. And so we will begin again. We will start anew. And this time, I won't fuck it up. Thonis transforms into the glorious giant dragon Bahamut. But instead of black scales, they now glow pure white. The golden crown sitting above his head. In this purified form, he calls into the void. And you can hear the song of 1,000 mighty dragons answer in response. And with it, each one of your voices raised to join his, speaking the words of what you will leave behind. Before you, a dragon rises, her 5 heads rising above this maelstrom of energy and power, and you watch as Bahamut rushes to meet her. And in your mind you hear him whisper, "Thank you for saving me one last time." Nim and Mud rush to join Thonis. And as they cross the threshold where the barrier stands, their bodies transform into ancient dragons. Charcoal scales and giant black wings erupt from Mud as she stands beside her father, ready to face Tiamat. And Nim flows into a long and glorious golden dragon. And she takes her place on Thonis's other side. And you watch as the 3 of them roar in the face of Tiamat. And with it a shockwave spreads throughout all of time and space. You see the tavern blow apart. You feel the cosmos rip and turn and swirl and then merge together the way they should have. For they were never meant to be separate, but they were meant to be one glorious world. and you see that world slowly form beneath you as your bodies become energy and merge into the creation of this new planet. But there's yet a little bit more to this story. Each of you had a wish, something to leave behind. And as the years roll on, those who watch from the heavens see the changes to this new world, a world of magic and might, of technology and wonder, a world of ancient evil and powerful heroes. We see an orphanage, a world between worlds, a legend among some, where lost children find their way home, where they speak of Lady Keladri and the Mistress Quirk, who watch over this sacred place. Kids from this realm enter back into society as heroes, always bringing something good with them. Many of them learn of an organization founded by a wise and thoughtful prophet, Estrella, a woman who could easily have been a goddess, but instead chose to be humble and simple. Her people spread across the land and help those who are downtrodden, bring help to those who need it, and save those who ask for it. Like a young man who journeys to a city on the water, where an old admiral and his best friend rule with a kind smile and a wondrous sense of adventure. Yasin and Persian create an empire of swashbucklers who go off into the four corners of the earth to see what they can uncover and defend those that they can. And after some time has passed, a young girl steps through a mysterious void, her parents watching behind her as they tell her it's her time to make her mark on the world. Alexandra steps into a lone city, full of power and wonder, being raised by two of the oddest parents any girl could ever have. There's a darkness about her, but it's a darkness that defends, like in the days of Thanos, when the Dark Ones controlled the night. And through it all, for 1,000 years, Thanos, known to the world as Bahamut, with Nim and Mud by his side, battle Tiamat. For 1,000 years, the world knows peace because these three hold her back. Their battles are epic, and they crack through the atmosphere with the thunder of the night sky and the rain that falls upon the ground. And each morning, hope rises with the sun. as these 1,000 years end, a legacy is left by the heralds of Thanos. Statues to nameless heroes, all beloved by different lands, all awaiting the time when a new group of heroes will arise to save them once again. My friends, that is where we end season 1.
Oh my god.